Okay, so my name is the Math Train, and we're going to be focusing on the slope of a horizontal line and the slope of a vertical line. So this lesson is already filled in, so we are just going to go through it with the lightsaber tool, and we're going to do the lesson that way. So I'm going to go through everything that I have for you today, and we're going to find out the difference of the slope of a horizontal line and the slope of a vertical line. So for the beginning, we're going to look at the formula for slope. So we have m, which is the indicator, so y equals mx plus b. M is slope, and b is a y-intercept. And then we have rise and run, and then we have the formula for slope, which is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And so we have the slope of a horizontal line, and then we have the slope of a vertical line. So basically, when we talk about horizontal line and vertical line slopes, it comes down to what's written down here. We have the slope of a horizontal line is 0. It is 0 divided by a number, and that's the rise and run. It's division by a number with a 0 on top, and the numerator is 0. And then we have vertical lines. So slopes with vertical lines are undefined and or infinity, because we have a number on the top and we have a 0 for the denominator, and it's division by 0, and technically you cannot divide by 0, which means it becomes undefined. So the denominator is 0 and the numerator is 0. So that's how you can tell which is which. So for horizontal lines, the numerator is 0, and for vertical lines, the denominator is 0, and you can't divide by 0, meaning that the slope is undefined. And again, it's rise over run, and so we're gonna get two end points, or two coordinate points. It will be x1, y1, x2, y2, and we're gonna put that into the formula up here, and it'll result to either 0 being the numerator or 0 being the denominator, and we can tell if it's a horizontal line or a vertical line. And over here there are 4 statements as well. So, what you'll need to remember. So, for a horizontal line, the slope is 0. It is 0 with a number, with a division by a number, or a constant. And then we have vertical line, which is slope is undefined. So you can't divide by 0, which means undefined slope. And then, so horizontal line, the slope is 0, and vertical line, the slope is undefined. So what you'll need to remember is that the slope for a horizontal line is 0. 0 is on the numerator. It's divided by a number. That's the rise and run. And again, we have numerator. And then we have denominator. And then for vertical line, we have slope undefined and or infinity, and then we have a number on the numerator, and it's division by 0, and we cannot divide by 0, which means it is undefined, and that's the rise over run. So here's a little bit of a memory sheet. You can use this however you want. Moving on. So we have 2 points. We have points E and points F. Point E is 8, 15, and point F is 8, -4. So we're going to graph it, and we're going to see if it is a horizontal line or a vertical line. Pay attention to the colors. So I use blue, and that's the color that I was using with the vertical line. So right here we have the formula for the slope of E and F. We inputted our legend into the formula, and we have m, the slope of EF. So we have negative 19 over 0, and that's our rise and run, and we can't have division by 0, and we have division by 0 right here. It's on the bottom, and meaning that the slope of E and F is undefined, meaning it's a vertical line. So, there is no run, and therefore it is a vertical line. So the slope of E and F is undefined because there's division by 0. And we can't technically divide by 0, so it results in it being undefined. And then we have, so the slope of E and F is undefined, and it ends up being a vertical line. So moving on. The slope of line segment EF is negative 19 over 0, meaning that the slope of EF is undefined and infinity due to the denominator being 0, and we cannot divide by 0. When we have a slope that is undefined, then we know it's a vertical line. So here's an example. We have an example, so we have points E and points F, and again, vertical line, the slope is undefined. We have a number on the top, and it's division by 0, which means it's undefined. So that's the slope. And moving on, so now we have graph of points E and F. So we have points E right there, it's 8 and 15. And then we have points F, which is 8 and negative 4. And it says, as you can see, the points of E and F form a vertical line, as well as the slope at a value of negative 19 over 0, which is undefined. Vertical line, and the slope is negative 19 over 0, meaning that it's undefined. So we're going to circle that. And we have points listed down there. And that's about it. So now we're going back to this page, so we're going to go through it again. So we have m, just like y equals mx plus b, this being y-intercept, m being slope. So we have m being slope, being rise over run, being the formula on how to calculate slope, and you need 2 endpoints within the line to calculate slope within the line. Alright, so now we have the slope of a horizontal line and the slope of a vertical line. And again, we have our therefore statements. You'll get 2 coordinate points, and we'll input x1, y1, and x2, and y2. So we're going to input that into the formula. We need therefore statements. And let's go through this one more time. So we have horizontal lines, and we have vertical lines. For horizontal line, the slope is 0. 0 is the numerator, and it's divided by a number. So its rise is 0, and its run is a number, meaning that the slope is 0. When we have a vertical line, it is divided by 0, and we cannot divide by 0. Meaning that it is undefined. So we have a horizontal line. As you can notice, the y values are the same. And then we have x1 and x2. So we have m of j and k, so slope of line jk. And then we have the formula for slope. And legends are necessary, so we can have y2, y1, x2, and x1, and we can put -5, -6, and 9. So what we did here was we inputted -5 from here, y1 and y2, and then we have -6 and 9, so we got that from x1 and x2. And then we canceled out double negatives, it becomes a positive. So we have -5 plus 5, and then we simplified, we inputted the coordinates, so y2, y1, x2, x1, and then we simplified the numerator and the denominator. And what we found was that the denominator was -15, and then the numerator ended up being 0. So the top was the numerator was 0, and the denominator was a number, meaning the slope of line JK was 0. As you can see, the slope is 0, therefore it is a horizontal line. The slope of this line segment of JK is 0. It is a horizontal line, meaning that the slope is 0, presenting a 0 at the top divided by a number. Here is our legend. So again, we have an example of like a sketch of a graph. We have J and K. We have a horizontal line. And then we have the legend of like what we need to remember about horizontal line slopes. So slope is 0. It is 0 divided by a number, which is rise over run, and that's the slope. Proof that a horizontal line has a slope of 0. So we have the graph of JK, and we have x1, y1, x2, y2. We have a horizontal line. We have our legend, and that's J, and that's K. And then we'll go to red. So we have M, J, K, hold on. Zero equals 0. 15 equals 0. Meaning, so we have MJK is 0 over -15. 0 is the numerator, meaning that the slope is just 0. And when slope equals 0, it is a horizontal line. So, as you can see, the points J and K form a horizontal line segment, meaning the slope is 0, with 0 being numerator and -15 being the denominator, and therefore it is a horizontal line segment. As you can see, we have K documented here, and J documented there, and it's a horizontal line segment. And again, we will look at this page. So with horizontal lines, so it is 0 over a number, this number over 0. So we have horizontal line slope is equals to 0. And for vertical lines, slope is undefined. Divided by 0, we can't do that, meaning it becomes undefined. So, and again, we have horizontal lines, slope equals 0. There's 0 as the numerator and a number on the bottom. And for vertical lines, we have slope is undefined and or infinity, a number on the top, and 0 as the bottom. We can't divide by 0, meaning that our slope becomes undefined. And that is all I have for you today. I hope you found this helpful. Thank you very much.